Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure to rise and speak on this exceptionally important bill. I had the pleasure to be a member of the Parliamentary Committee which journeyed to Christchurch yesterday to hear evidence and is working into the night last night to progress this legislation. We took a very early morning flight, Mr Chairman, and we arrived in Christchurch with time up our sleeve before our hearings began at Addington Raceway. We took that time as members of the committee to make ourselves aware. Many of us had only spent a little bit of time in Christchurch before at the very moving memorial service and had seen at that stage the devastation of the eastern suburbs. We took an opportunity to see some of the devastation visited upon the central business district, and it was exceptionally sobering. Colombo Street, where a whole block, the facade of shops along one side completely fallen off, torn off, exposing the sobering reminders of domestic life within, tables set, chairs around, pictures on the wall still there untouched for some months. In the distance, the lean on the Grand Chancellor. At other parts of the city, the old and much-loved stone chamber, surrounded by a network of fallen scaffolding where repairs that had been undertaken there from the effects of earlier quakes had themselves suffered, and the whole facade had tumbled down. It certainly underlined the need for this legislation, the need for strong governance, the need for a united and effective response to this long-term tragedy. I want to acknowledge the Select Committee process and the very able chairmanship of Chris Ockenvold. It was, as Charles Chauvel has attested himself, a challenge, and Chris did an exceptional job. I also want to acknowledge Kennedy Graham, whose contribution was measured, considered, and very, very positive to the end result, and of course the submitters. But also I want government to give itself a pat on the back, and the Minister, because the Minister has taken on board, the Select Committee members have listened, and we have in this hand a huge number of recommendations that have been taken on board by the government from the hearing of evidence. And it's quite interesting that we should have had a certain amount of vituperation from the opposition ventures because that an SOP has been yet to be tabled. The reason why the SOP has been yet to be tabled, of course, is because the government has been listening to the hearing of evidence, have been listening to the debates made within the Select Committee, where there has been a certain amount of banter, a certain amount of passion evidence, and the government has been listening to this and taking it on board. So I want to make that point, and I will come back to some of the points raised shortly. So we realise that this bill is crucial. And why is it crucial? Well, it's crucial because it's setting out appropriate measures to enable the Minister for Canterbury Earthquake Recovery and or the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority to facilitate and direct, if necessary, Greater Christchurch and its communities to respond to and recover from the impacts of the Canterbury earthquake. This bill is founded on and recognises the need for community participation, and that's something a number of speakers to the Parliamentary Committee commented upon, and a number of speakers in the House today have alluded to. And if I get a chance to speak later in the debate, I will be coming back to that. So we want to have a community involvement in the decision-making process, balancing against this a need for a timely and coordinated recovery process. We need strong governance and leadership for rebuilding and the recovery of the Greater Christchurch for the benefit of all those living there, for the benefit of all New Zealanders and New Zealand. Mr Chairman, We have had